There is so much marketing collateral that you can make for your manufacturing company, but before you dive too deep into it, watch this video and let me break it down and make it much easier for you. Guys, for the past 8 years, I've owned Manufacturing Tribe. We're an industrial marketing agency, and in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how we break down our content calendars for some of the largest industrial manufacturing brands out there, because we create all of their content for them, whether it's written content or video. We create it in-house, and this guide will help you because it could be extremely overwhelming when it's like, what is our content strategy for this year? If you guys have gotten any value out of this so far, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. I greatly appreciate it. The first step is going to be creating an outline of content categories. What do I mean by this? What I mean is, what is the category of this piece of content that you're going to create? The reason why you want to break these down into a couple main 5 categories, and maybe in your industry you have a 6th or a 7th, or you drop one of the ones that I'm going to tell you off. The reason why is because this will help you organize. You don't want to have too much content overloaded in one category for one tactic, because then you will keep regurgitating the same thing in the other tactics. So the priority and how you guys do it internally is going to depend on what type of marketing team, agency you have, sales team, what type of areas you're into, and how you guys are executing on a daily and weekly basis will dictate which one is priority. The first one's gonna be downloadable content. That's content that's gonna live on your website or live on a landing page where it's content rich. You want people to probably do something to get a copy of that. So it could be submit their name and email, company, whatever it is. Then once they do that, here you provide them with this guide, this ebook, this calculation sheet, whatever it is that you think is extremely valuable, that people would give up their name and email for. You need to have downloadable content. You can't just do it once throughout the year. Ideally, as long as you have a lot of traffic coming to your website, you can put it into a series where it's monthly or at least semi-monthly, to where you're creating anywhere from 6 to 12 pieces of downloadable content a year. Or if you break it into a series where it's the main series of downloadable content and all the supporting stuff, or go backwards and do supporting content leading up to the main piece, which is the ultimate guide. This is extremely beneficial, but most industrial companies do not do it because they don't have the resources. We do it all the time for our clients. Next one's gonna be drop-off content. Drop-off content is when your sales, marketing people, or CEO or whoever is with somebody, stops by a place. Hopefully your sales team is doing cold visits. Once they're there, they're gonna wanna drop something off. Now this can be a brochure that's 5-6 pages with some inserts into it, or can just be a simple 1-page quick hit list, not a line card where it's just like, this is who we rep for, something a little bit more in depth than that, but you want it to be able to leave behind this piece of content, drop it off. Maybe you can mail it to somebody, so a simple tri-folding brochure or an 8.5 by 11 sheet, maybe a couple of them. This is the key, so that way when you are somewhere, you can have a stack of these in your car or in your backpack and be able to drop it off. Hey, I want to stop in and say hi to so-and-so. They said that they were busy. Can you leave this for them along with your business card? The third area is going to be social media. What type of content are you going to be producing on social media? This can get extremely overloaded because there's so many different types of content for social media. But if you have them as a category, you can start to fill it out and map it up. And as we get through the other points, I'll be able to explain exactly how to do that. But social media is its category in itself. Now there can be some cross-referencing. Some of these points that I'm talking about can be good for social media. It can go on the website. It can go through email marketing. But you want to look at social as, if I'm going to be posting something on a frequency of 5 days a week, which you need to do as a company, 5 days a week, I need to have a large amount of content. So saying in your column of your spreadsheet or in whatever you're using to create these categories for this guide and for your content strategy for the next 12 months, having a category of social media, that should have the most amount of content as horizontal rows in it versus everything else. But it should be a mix of both graphical content, short form, long form with articles, and videos. The fourth one's gonna be the website. What is on your website? Well, you're gonna have some downloadable content on your website. You should have some video content on your website, but you need to look at your website as every single page. That is the most important. How do we determine that, Kyle? The way that we do it is we look at the top 10 most landed on pages. You've heard me talk about this in other videos. If you've watched my content, what do I mean by that? Most people think, oh, they came to the homepage. That's old school. Nobody goes to your homepage first, or at least not more than about 50% of your total traffic will land on your homepage first. People are going to other internal pages. You need to go to Google Analytics, look at your top 10 most landed on pages. Every single one of those pages, that's your hit list first. Start with number 1, optimize that web page to be content rich. downloadable content, videos, articles, links to things, call to actions to do things with your content. Then once that's done, go to page number 2, top 10 most landed on. On the flip side of it, once that's all done, then you look at your top 10 most visited pages. You should have at least 3 to 6 of your top 10 most landed on pages should be on your top 10 most visited pages. That's just pure math based on the numbers of people that come in. So you've already done half of the work, you just need to grab those last ones. Maybe the contact us page, your RFQ page, your reach out to us, schedule a meeting page is in that top 10. Hopefully, if your website's doing its job, a lot of people should go to that page in the end of it, in the end of their visit. And so if that's the case, what does that page look like? People often forget about that. It's like, oh, that's just got a form on it. That's an area where the call to action is a form, but once they fill out the form, then what do you do with it? Do you send them to the blog? Do you give them a free downloadable guide? But you have to look at the website as individual pages, make sure that they're content rich, make sure that all of your content strategy is leaving little breadcrumbs throughout your website to drive people in to show that you are the expert in this space. The last one's gonna be email. Email marketing. What are you sending through email? It should not look like a Home Depot ad, although oftentimes industrial companies do make their email marketing look like that. You should take your content and develop it specifically for email. You can take a blog article, a white paper, things like that, and send that out through email. But you just have to make sure that when you're creating that piece of content, you know where it's going to go. What category can this piece of content go into? It can go into downloadable category, the website, and through email marketing. Cool, you've checked all 3 of those boxes. Use that piece of content throughout there. Now maybe you take a short version of that article, maybe the top paragraph, and you put that onto social media with a link to the rest of the article. Each piece of content can live in so many different categories, but you have to map it out to make sure you're checking all those boxes. Because when you're done with this, once you plan it out, just plan out 30, 60, 90 days or so. Once you plan it out, you can look and say, oh dude, we've got a lot of content in these categories, and this category over here is not doing so well, so we need to focus some attention to create content specifically for that. And then maybe that piece of content you can also use elsewhere, but you have to look at it and say, where am I content heavy? Where am I content light from a tactic and an execution standpoint, and make sure that everything lines up accordingly. The second main topic is going to be categorizing the content as written or video. So we talked about the content categories. Now we have to look at the next column on your spreadsheet. It's going to be, is it written or video? This should be a mix of both. It should be about 50-50. You can get a lot more across in a video than you can in an article, but still half of the market in industrial manufacturing likes to read. So you have to make sure that you're not too heavy on video, you're not too light on the written side, that you have a nice mix. Now it could be 60-40 or 70-30, that's perfectly fine, as long as you are being consistent with the quantity throughout the weeks and months throughout the year. That is what's most important. You cannot go into it and say, I'm gonna do a lot of written content for the first 60 days, and then it trails off to where if I audit you 6 to 9 months later, your written content has fallen off and you're only video. You can take your video content and create written content from it. You can take your written content and create videos from it. So they should play back and forth together, but you have to look at it and say, this is all written content. Well, we're lacking video, and Kyle said I need to have at least half my content be video, if not a little bit more. We need to bring a video arm in here. Now, if you want the best in the industry, you contact Manufacturing Tribe. We've got the best video team. We create almost 1,000 videos a year for our clients. You're probably like, dude, how do you even do that? We do it based on batch shooting and micro content. So we go in and create a couple of long videos every single quarter, and then we create 20, 30, 40 short videos that are meant for social. We look at it the same way. When we talk to a client, we say, what are the top 10 most landed on pages? We need video, long form and short form videos on those pages to drive call to actions, to teach the audience that you guys are the subject matter experts in your space. You're the biggest, the baddest, and the smartest. You've got the best product or service available. How are you gonna convey that? Not necessarily with images and graphics and just words. Video is the fastest way to do it. It's gonna keep the engagement. So make sure you have a mix of 50-50 at a minimum. If you want to tip in one direction, I would tip towards video, because that's what's getting more engagement and that's what's driving more revenue. The last one's going to be create a content calendar. Now, how you do this content calendar, whether it's through Word or a third-party program or Excel, that does not matter. It just matters that you create one. Pick a solution that's best for you. We do it internally in our own software, but a lot of our clients that do it internally on their own or used to, they just use a spreadsheet or a Word document. But you want to map everything out. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do the entire year. If I said do 12 months of content planning, you will say, okay, I'm going to do that, and then you won't actually end up doing it. You need to look at it and break it down into maybe a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. What are we going to do for the next 90 days? all right, we want to focus on this product or this service that we offer or this industry. We're trying to really get into medical and focus more on medical or automotive or aerospace. So we want our content calendar to be focused more on that, not all of it, more on that to break into that market more. And we're gonna do that over the next 90 days by doing these things. Create a white paper, supporting blog articles, put downloadable guides on the website, do a video shoot with Manufacturing Tribe or have Manufacturing Tribe create all this article and written content for you. The videos are gonna be broken down into categories. You're gonna have long form videos, short form videos are gonna be email marketed, posted on social, live on YouTube, go on your website, send out through LinkedIn messages, everything under the sun. But this is where you wanna map it all out. Spend a few hours, a couple of days mapping it out. If you guys need content topic ideas, you can go to Google, you can look at SEMrush and do content clusters through that. You can go to HubSpot if you're a HubSpot user and figure out what your topic should be based on you importing a category and saying, this is what I want to rank for, this phrase, this category in this industry. It comes back with some ideas of what people are searching for currently. You're going to create content to satisfy that search, or talk to your sales team and say, hey guys, what are the potential customers and current customers asking for a lot? What's something I can provide them, create for them that they would get a lot of value out of? And the internal team may say, oh dude, everybody's always asking me for these guides or these calculators or this cheat sheet or whatever. Create that, expand on it, and it will work magic for the top of your pipeline. Bring new people in, learn about your brand, boost you as the subject matter experts, and you will grow exponentially as long as you do this. Now, the fourth point is going to be key, which is you have to do this consistently. You cannot start a content marketing strategy, start it, stop it, start it, stop it. You need to do the planning, whether it is, maybe it's going to take you guys a week. We do it in a couple of days because this is what we do for all of our customers, but maybe it takes you a little bit longer than that. Spend the time doing it, plan it out, then execute and implement it, and I guarantee you will have massive results. I hope you guys got value out of that. Please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, follow me on LinkedIn for all of our daily content. Look at our YouTube shorts, and if you guys want to listen to this in a podcast format, look on all the major podcast platforms for technical sales and marketing with me, not literally me, put my name in there. And you will be able to listen to this while you do anything else. And because Laura likes when I say it, even when you're cutting the grass, you can listen to the podcast. I will see you guys on the next one.